What, hug?
Yeah, just because it's Cancer.
Oh.
Get into the mood.
Get in the mood.
Emotional. Okay. You good? You good?
Yeah.
Moon signs and storylines.
Hello, astrology enthusiasts.
Hello, astrology enthusiasts. Welcome to Moon Signs
And storylines.
I'm Megan.
And I'm Kimberly. Thank you for your support of this channel and for our faithful followers and our newcomers. Welcome. We're happy you're here.
And if you do want to support this channel, please do share it with other astrology enthusiasts.
Yes, because here at Moon Signs and Storylines, we believe every new moon and full moon carries its own unique story and influence.
Full moons illuminate, exposing what's ready to be seen.
New moons, on the other hand, are darker, more mysterious, and internal. They invite us to plant seeds of intention for the path ahead.
As the moon travels, it moves with purpose, revealing the story of the moment.
Yes, and these stories influence shedding light on this relationship between the sun and the moon.
For fun, here at Moon Signs and Storylines, we're here to uncover the story of this new moon in Cancer on June 25th by analyzing the chart.
Yeah, and the chart gives us space to pause, reflect, and realign.
To bring these moon storylines to life, we'll use our own references, from a historic figure to a song to a movie, something that we all can kind of get behind.
We do that. And our references, like the chart, reveals these complexities.
And it's a great way for us to share our unique perspective, and you too. So what is the story behind this sun and moon on June 25th?
Let's start by exploring the moon's character.
New moon in Cancer.
New moon in Cancer.
So here we speak about kind of like the main characters of our storyline.
Right.
And Cancer is a water sign, and it's a cardinal sign, and it's the beginning of summer.
Yes, and it's a feminine sign.
So we're going internal with this cardinal energy. So
It's a mother.
So in a sense, it's the most fertile, emotional moon of the year. So we're thinking of fertility, we're thinking of emotions, and we're thinking of active emotions. This isn't passive emotions. This is internal, but gonna do something about it. So
Protective energy.
taking action to create safety.
I see it's about resetting our emotional tone.
Nice. It's initiating emotional security is the tone that I'm kind of going with this one.
Oh, okay. Well, it is a new moon, so I think it's about planting seeds for healthier boundaries, emotional healthy boundaries, to protect ourselves, but not isolate ourselves.
Very good. Yeah, nice. New moons in Cancer are compassionate compasses in a way. So we're realigning with our emotional values, with our emotional integrity, and then making sure like we live in action with these principles. So we don't just feel bad about something, we show up to it.
We show up. That is the big word for me. I think it's a good time to set intentions of doing things that nourishes our soul, allow our emotions to guide us, but not control us. That's key.
I like that. What we really need to learn about like Cancers is we go full heart, we go full force. It's a very active internal energy, but we need some caution within that too.
We do. Just think of Mama Bear.
Yeah, totally.
Mama Bear energy.
Ready for our hook?
Ready for a hook.
Okay. I gotta practice my hook because I have to speak a different language a little bit.
Oh, okay. So should I go first?
No, go first. Go first.
Okay. My hook is, when the lights go out and the tears won't stop, some songs don't just play, they hold us.
Nice. I'm interested. I want to be held within music. I'm interested.
Okay.
Okay. So
Let's hear the language.
my hook is a new moon in Cancer with Jupiter conjunct, so it's a little emotional. And also, I'm going to try to pronounce things that I have difficulty pronouncing. But
Brave.
yeah, bravery, because there's Aries here. But here we go. This Cancer new moon is when the heart takes the wheel and builds movement out of love. Si se puede. It starts with emotion and ends with motion. This is what happens when care becomes conviction and conviction becomes collective. Si se puede. Here is a story of much importance. It shows the victory is in fact possible. Juega! And Cancer, new moon, Jupiter conjunct with a lot of Aries, and then Taurus, Uranus at the critical degree.
Yes. Yes, yes. Interesting. Sounds very Cancerian.
Si se puede. Are you ready?
Okay. I get to choose. I'm interested in yours, but I'm gonna choose me this time.
Very cardinal. Very cardinal.
Yeah, very cardinal. I saw this new moon in a way when the heart breaks open is when healing begins. I see this full moon about quiet courage, the kind that shows up in tears, tenderness, and trying again. So my reference is a song by Coldplay. Considering I just went to the live performance, loved it. Oh my gosh, I loved it. And I heard him sing this song live, and I was moved. It's called
Cancer emotions move, man.
Yes. Well, he has a lot of songs that move me, but this one is called Fix You. So,
Do you mind if I listen to it?
No, I don't mind at all.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Oh, high up above or down below. Oh, but if you never try, you'll never know just what it was.
Beautiful song.
Thank
Nice.
you. Well, who doesn't love Coldplay?
I was picturing him running into my arms that whole time.
That would be nice. So to me, his lyrics express deep care, a promise to be there, like a shining light in the dark. To me, this song is a reminder that showing up with love sometimes can just be enough. Cancer doesn't fix with logic. It offers safety, warmth, and unconditional love. It's the quiet strength of staying by someone's side in the dark. When the heart breaks open is when healing begins. I see this full moon all about quiet courage, the kindness that shows up in tears, tenderness, and trying again. So I looked at the sun and the moon, and it conjuncts Jupiter. Man, talk about big emotions, and our emotions being at the surface. We can all feel it at this time.
Yeah, let me just say one thing that we didn't mention earlier. The moon is the leading planet.
Mm-hmm.
So the moon is the leading planet, the moon, is conjunct Jupiter too.
Yeah.
So this is like
Big
double
emotion.
whammy.
Yeah, so this combo of these three really expands our emotional body. Everything feels closer to the surface, asking to be healed and to be held. The lyrics, tears streaming down my face when you lose something you can't replace. This is the time to hold space for grief, love, and memories. Nurture yourself in ways you long to be nurtured. Show up for yourself to create emotional safety from the inside out. That's what is calling with that combination. Because sometimes we want other people to do that for us and with us, and that's great if they're available.
Yeah.
But give it to yourself. Let this be the time of this new moon that you give those qualities to yourself, the things that you long for. So I look at the new moon, which is the ruling planet, the moon. What is the moon doing? Well, it's squaring Aries, Neptune, and Saturn.
With Jupiter squaring these
Yes,
two.
this can create tension between emotional softness, Cancer, and the pressure to act or move quickly, Aries. The lyric, when you try your best but you don't succeed. This reminds us that vulnerability is not weakness. It's strength, but it's strength that looks like softness, and letting go of control can be the first step to healing. The new moon in Cancer needs emotional rest. Saturn and Neptune in Aries is really wanting us to push it through. I say honor both, your dreams and your limits. Discipline sometimes means on how to hold emotion and still take a line of action, but also be brave enough to rest. And then, of course,
Know thy emotions.
Yes. And respect them.
Yeah.
Because Aries sometimes just wants to push,
Yeah.
but the Cancer needs stillness. So it's finding the in-between of those things, right? And then the new moon also sextiles Mars and Virgo. The lyric is, and I will try to fix you. To me, this speaks to when compassion becomes action. I think this will encourage us to take small steps to repair what matters most to us. We don't have to fix everything all at once. Just ground your actions with love and healing.
It makes me laugh because that's so perfect for the sextile Mars to Virgo.
Yes, I thought so too.
Yeah, the way you're going, totally beautiful.
Thank you.
Giggle all the way, man.
Yeah, and then I looked at the Mercury in Cancer sextile Uranus in Taurus at 29 degrees. This can be an aha moment where clarity can break through the emotional fog. Speak truth even if your voice shakes. And the lyric is, lights will guide you home. Trust the truth that comes in like electric and clear. Say the thing. Follow the intuitive hit that you're getting, even if it surprises others.
Yeah.
Then Mercury in Cancer squares Chiron in Aries. This is really about painful truths. The lyric, when you're too in love to let it go. This can activate our inner child wounds. Sometimes we just need to share our hard things. We may carry the fear of being misunderstood or rejected when we share our emotions. However, a story does matter. Speak from your scars and not your wounds. Speak truth with softness and courage. And then Saturn in Aries sextiling Pluto in Aquarius. The lyric is, if you never try, you'll never know just what you're worth.
Wow.
To me, this is about foundational change. It's like helping us rebuild an emotional core. Choose integrity over image because it will last longer. So, to me, this new moon asks of us, will you allow light to guide you home, even if it means coming undone first?
Yeah. Yeah, so emotional proaction means unraveling the stuff inside of us to fix.
To come up and to heal and to
Yeah.
fix it. You know, a lot of us don't want to feel all those emotions.
I certainly have a hard time with Cancer. Yeah.
But I think that when the emotions can come up, you know, it has, like, whatever you digested, it's got to come out.
Yeah. So
Either
if we,
sideways or just allow yourself to be undone.
Yeah, totally. So with the Cancerness and then that Aries property and then especially the Virgo and Mars, we're unraveling our emotions, we're digesting them, Virgo, and we're fixing them by taking emotional proactive, like a stance on where we feel we need to move.
Absolutely. So my final
Internal,
thoughts.
external.
Yes. So my final thoughts. This new moon is here to soften what's hardened, tend to what's been torn, Let grief move through. Let truth be spoken. And let the light guide you home. Fix You by Coldplay. And my research is being at his show and crying to fix you.
That is pure research.
That's pure research.
That's first
I
hand.
was there.
First hand.
I was there.
experience.
Maybe we can show some of the few little clips I took. Like I would start videoing and then the motion took and I had to put it down.
Aw.
And then I would, try to get pieces. I mean, his shows are unbelievable emotional.
Nice.
I know at the beginning when it started and when he ran out, to see him run, I don't know how one person can create that much energy in a huge stadium, but the sounds, the lights, the confetti, the balloons, I was trying to film crying. And all I could do was go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, because there was so much emotion flowing. I don't even have words for the things I felt. It's that powerful. Go see Chris Martin.
Yeah, so pass that along if you want emotional uplifting and to feel the emotion.
Yes.
Coldplay.
Yes. Yeah, all of his songs.
Recommended by Kimberly.
All of his songs are Cancerian.
Yeah.
However, he is born on my birthday, March 2nd, so he's a beautiful Pisces, but he has some fire in him, and you can see that fire in his shows with the
Cardinal
Aries.
water, man. So
Yes.
he, even though he's a Pisces, his song Fix It totally represents this new moon in Cancer.
Absolutely. The other thing, that he has so many songs I could have used, but the reason I chose this song is because I really want us to value a little bit of the Mars and Virgo, and it's about being taken step by step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of how to help us heal.
Yeah.
So that's why I chose that song. Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
That was awesome. I definitely leaned on the Mars and Virgo too in mine.
Oh, good.
I
good.
definitely put a lot of emphasis on that. And
Isn't that crazy?
yeah. But I felt like it's important because there's all this aggressive water and
fire.
and fire, and then Mars, this planet that kind of represents the Ariesness, is in this Virgo of systems and
groundedness.
and grounding and wanting to heal and fix. So
Yeah, and take time, step by step. Mm-hmm. That's what Virgos really teach us, how to do things step by step. So really lean into that when you're becoming undone.
Okay, so my reference, the moon is the ruler and the leading planet. So this is Cancerian themes dominating, right? Mm-hmm. So we're nurturing, we're emotional, safety, memory, family, roots, protection. And then Jupiter is right there on the new moon in Cancer. So we're expanding our emotional intelligence and compassion. It's a huge emotional yes to nourishing, to self and others. But it may also inflate overprotection and emotional indulgence. So my reference is going to help us avoid those. So let's learn how not to do that by my reference. My reference is kind of a date stamp in time. So there's a few figures that I'm going to highlight and organizations. My reference of this new moon in Cancer is César Chávez.
Ah, y'all, this is perfect at this time. Wait a minute. Let me take a breath. I hope you all know him. If not, you need to know him and his work. And at this time, what's going on?
Yeah. I'm gonna help explain it. Dolores Huerta, the Delano grape boycott, and of course the United Farmworkers organization, and what they did back in the 1965 through the 70s. So here we go. The Cancer new moon Jupiter is leading in compassion. Chavez's life and work were rooted in deep emotional and communal care. He wasn't just an organizer of labor, he was a nurturer of dignity, their families, their rights to be seen and protected. This echoed Cancer's theme of home, family, and protection, amplified by Jupiter, spanning the emotional body to include the whole community. Dolores Huerta, and we'll just call her Dolores from All Out, the co-founder of the United Farmworkers, was equally essential. back in that day, to have such a woman leader is just phenomenal in herself. So, and she's still alive. She's a living legend to this day. There is a documentary out on her that I definitely recommend. It was her phrase, "Si se puede." Yes, we can. That was the heartbeat of the movement. And we know Yes, You Can by Obama, but that was Dolores.
That was
right?
Dolores.
Si se puede. I say we say it right now. Ready?
No.
Me and Kimberly together tried just one time. Si
Yes,
se
we
puede.
can.
So there is the square to Saturn and Neptune, to Aries, to this new moon with Jupiter right there. This is emotional ideals, Neptune, and hard personal effort, Saturn. It's fiery, it's self-starting, demanding that our compassion be active, not passive. This is the walk your talk moment. The clash calls for a maturity and a reality check.
And a little bit of integrity, which is one of my favorite things.
We'll get there with Virgo. So, she already looked at the chart, man. She cheated. Just kidding. So, cardinal water and cardinal fire. This is emotional sensitivity versus independent drive. Passion must have a backbone, and that's what we're feeling during this new moon in Cancer.
Well, you know what? I think it's important that compassion does have a backbone.
Yeah.
Because so many times emotional people can run away with their compassion.
Yeah.
I have no clue on that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so this is a square. So if we don't have... square. This is a square. So if we don't have backbone, we're not going to be able to evolve and to
move
adjust.
forward. We'll just
to
be an
a thing.
emotional lunatic.
Yeah, so we can learn that during this new moon. Chavez and Dolores dreamed of better working conditions, Neptune and Aries, but didn't stop there. They endured fast. Chavez himself led marches. They went from Central Valley all the way to the Capitol and engaged in civil disobedience. Saturn and Aries. Poor Dolores got beat up where she had to get her spleen removed and she had ribs broken and stuff. But we don't want that. We want peaceful protest. And that's what they did. Protest. Showing us how to make ideals real through hard and personal action. So there is a square. There is some sacrifice there. And then the Delano grape boycott. So they traveled from Delano all the way to Sacramento. And they walked through all these farms and just collected more and more farm workers to show up at the Capitol. So this is like showing us what peaceful protest from heart for community and family really is.
It's kind of like today. The optics are different. The optics they show are very different than what's truly happening. Okay.
But it's
I
fucking
digress.
happening, yeah. Go digress. Okay, so this lasted 5 years, and it wasn't just a protest, it was a substance acts of... Oh, wait. So sad, because it's happening today.
Sorry.
So, through this boycott that was 5 years, they got living situations okayed. They got bathrooms in the fields. Like, before, there was no bathrooms, there was no running water. Like, things that are just, like, complete common sense. They had to have a boycott of grapes and do this pilgrims, just to make it known. And César Chávez has an 8th grade graduation. Like, he's an 8th grade education that worked in the fields. Like, Dolores had, like, Girl Scouts and choir, and she was definitely part of participants. But, like, César Chávez, like, studied history on his own and all this stuff. So, anywho, like, there's Saturn right there. There's that square.
He did his work.
He did his work. He moved out of his boundaries, and then same with her. Like, she saw, like, not what and someone please correct me if I'm wrong on this. Not necessarily she was like a farm worker, but when she saw fellow Chicanos in states that were working not having adequate housing, not having adequate water, there was no shade for them. Like, just simple things. The United Farm Workers.
Compassion and action.
Compassion and action.
I think that's the key word.
I think so too. Okay, so let's move on to other aspects because there is Mars and Virgo. Okay, Mars and Virgo, and me and Kimberly both like want to prompt this one up for this particular new moon because it's kind of like this. What's it called when you put your bike down? A kickstand. It's kind of like the kickstand of this new moon. So Mars here is efficient, precise, and deeply service orientated.
It is.
While Cancer feels, Virgo fixes. This is an invitation to create symptoms of care, rituals, routines, checklists that support emotional well-being and collective healing. There is also a sensual undercurrent. Mars is a feminine earth sign. It wants to touch, mend, serve in real ways. That goes to our food. It goes to cooking. It goes to the United
Uranus
Farm
and
Workers.
Taurus too. It kind of rings a bell to
Oh, I mean, yeah, totally, too. Mars and Virgo, systems of service. Chavez and Huerta were masters of strategic organization, contracts, boycotts, committees, and non-violent training. They built systems from the ground up. Mars and Virgo's channels energies into meaningful service, and their work brought structure to compassion.
Yes.
Huerta's focus on, this is Dolores, on legislation and labor rights shows how detail-orientated service could lead to real policy change. Mars in Virgo honors the worker, not just the spirit, but the method.
It respects the worker.
Yeah. So respect to farm workers, auto workers, all the workers out there.
I will say there have been times when we live close to Monterey. It's the next county over. And there's been times where I have driven through Monterey and Salinas and Watsonville when they took the fields first thing in the morning. As the sun is rising, I see them. And every time I go out, drive through there, and I see these workers out there bent over for hours, pulling and picking, it brings tears to my eyes every single time. How grateful. So when you eat your food, you get your salad, your lettuce, because it's the lettuce bowl of the America.
Yes, California is the lettuce bowl of America.
And really honor the food that you put in your mouth. Really say a sacred, special prayer.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, sorry. Didn't mean to go off
No,
topic.
that's fine. That's great. Okay, next aspect I want to bring up is Pluto retrograde in Aquarius is quintile to this new moon and sextile to Saturn and Neptune. This quintile is alchemy of inner progress. It's subtle but transformative, a call to evolve emotional and collectively. And I feel like that's what Kimberly hit on the head with hers too. Pluto retrograde in early Aquarius is breaking down systems for future generations. And I think that's a lot of what farm workers do. Like immigrants come and they work real hard to make sure that their generations after them can prosper too. So I think like we need to honor that within the balance of work.
Yeah, and June 25th, on this new moon, it's really a good time to honor our immigrants. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. With this new moon, it is private revolution. An internal wiring changes first. And that was Kimberly's thing, this internal wiring of unbraiding it.
Uplifting our core emotional boundaries.
Again, with this new moon, it's private revolution. It's that internal energy, but cardinal. The internal wiring changes first.
Right.
Okay, Pluto in Aquarius, retrograde, collective transformation. United Farm Workers had systematic overhaul by the people. The United Farm Workers wasn't just about working rights. It was about changing how America thought about labor, dignity, and power. This quintile to the new moon speaks of how their leadership wasn't loud. It was persistent, soulful, and inevitable. Fixed and cardinal together. Pluto retrograde asks us to go within to rewire what community transformation really means. Chavez and Huerta did the work on both the outer and inner planes. Strong people, strong results.
Oh, love it.
Venus is in Taurus and Uranus is in the last degree of Taurus. I love it. Kimberly loves it. This is the critical degree So it has a little bit more,
Zing.
exotic energy within it. This is destabilizing what we hold dear. Our value systems, Venus, are up for major debate. And we see this in the world right now with what's going on in California and LA. Venus in Taurus wants stability and beauty, but it is now being asked what is worth holding on to and what is expired in values. Greed. Greed is expired in values. I'll just say it right there.
I totally agree.
At the heart of the boycott was a simple yet revolutionary question. Kimberly hit on this earlier. What is the true cost of our food? Chavez and Huerta asked the public to consider values over convenience, dignity over cheapness. With Uranus at 29 degrees, the crisis degree, our value system are up for reevaluation. The boycott proves that withholding money could be just as powerful as marching, an act of economic care and rebellion. Their legacy speaks to this new moon in Cancer. And I'm going to quote our champions here, César Chávez. The end of all education should surely be service to others.
Yes.
Leaning on that Virgo right there with the Cancer. Here's Dolores Huerta's. Every moment is an organizing opportunity.
So Virgo.
Every person a potential activist. Every minute a chance to change the world.
Yes.
And that goes to the Aries too. So it hits on the Virgo, hits on the Cancer, and then hits on all that Aries. Together they offered the perfect lens for a Cancer new moon. Blends of emotional depth, fierce truth, discipline, compassion, and value reassessment. It is not soft sentiment. It's love that organizes, fights, and endures. Okay, and just because we're here now in 2025 and things are going on with our immigrant population.
It's shades of history coming back, and with history trying to be demolished.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm so glad you brought this in the forefront. And I do want to say, my son is a Virgo, and he's done a lot of work and organization and learning about different governments. And he's been out there organizing some of these protests.
Nice.
And going to meetings and trying to move the needle a little bit. And the other night, he protests a really big protest at night. And he said, the thing about it, Mom, is we're doing everything very peacefully. He's been trained by some really intelligent people. And he said, there's a group, the anarchists, come in, and they're very violent. And he was trying to de-escalate because he wants to protect the people in the protest. And they started screaming at him like, stop trying to police us. So,
Yeah, it's a lot of communities that need to work together. And that, I think, is the square with this new moon with Jupiter squaring Neptune and Saturn. So we want our systems, we want our truth to be heard, but we need to figure out how to work with others.
Yeah, and so those optics is what's being shown, but it's not the truth of what's happening.
So here's my silent, quiet protest. What still needs to protect farm workers in 2025? So there is a bill in place called Farm Workers Moderation Act, and farm workers are workers, and it kind of advances their citizenship before others.
Oh, it did.
Yeah. So no, this bill is
right now.
Right now.
Okay.
For us to contact our representatives and
Please do.
Say, hey, do this for us.
We'll put that down in the description.
So California is kind of progressive in showing ways for other states that have farm workers what to do. So please don't be mean to California right now. Health and safety. So this is, again, what California is doing that's taking care of their farm workers better than other states, and what other states need to kind of step up to the bar. So farm workers in conditions, sometimes there's too much heat, sometimes there's smoke from fires nearby, pesticides, and housing. So California...
And lithium battery burning.
Yeah, so California has paid sick leave for incidents like that, like when people should not be outside during fires. California pays sick leave for farm workers, only state. So this is SB 1105. So let's just encourage other states to do it. And Pajaro Valley, our neighbor, is actually trying to sue and enforce for a stronger buffer zone when it comes to hazardous pesticides. So Chavez and Huerta, like, definitely, Cesar and Dolores definitely fought for pesticides to be understood. There was, like, protections
and we're going back in the 60s. They
we're
knew
going
this.
50 years from now.
Yeah.
So and then now Pajaro Valley is suing, so it's cool. Okay, and then emergency relief and disaster response. With the climate change, things flood, crops go down, farmers might not get paid for when they can't work. So the legislation that we need to contact is for Disaster Relief for Farm Workers Act. And that gives direct grants to farm workers when there's disaster response.
Yes.
And my final thoughts, why it matters. Ensuring all farm workers are legally protected, paid fairly, healthy, and valued connects us to what we eat and what we owe to them. This is the living conditional of Chavez and Huerta's legacy. Build systems that honor dignity, resilience, and care. What is the true cost of our food or our humanity? Wink, wink. And may we all consider values over convenience, dignity over cheapness. Sorry, I read it.
Can we keep going? Can we keep going? Preach it, preach it, preach it.
This new moon is powerful. It's emotional. We get to untwine our cobwebs, our coils that are caught inside of us, and put them into action, and put them into, I hate to say it, I'm going to say it, being a social warrior. What is it?
Compassion in action? Or
No, warrior justice.
Spiritual warrior?
Spiritual warrior. I couldn't say it. I just couldn't. But I'm leaning towards it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think that we're going to have a lot of spiritual warrior energy just with Neptune and Saturn being in Aries. I mean, especially Neptune in Aries. That is like the spiritual warrior. And we're going to have this for a decade.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah. So, if you like this video, hit like, subscribe, share our video with astrology enthusiasts.
And comment below, like, how do you feel this new moon in Cancer is to you? Like, what do you connect with?
Yeah. How does Cancer show up for you?
Yeah.
How much action and compassion can you bring up?
Yeah.
And can you allow yourself to go undone for healing and holding space for another?
Yeah.
And truly honoring people.
Yeah, and then your generations after you. You hold space for them too.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, Cancer is really about history and ancestry. So we're creating a legacy. So we have a legacy, but we're also creating a new legacy. Well, how do you want to do that? How do you want to create that? And remember, today is a new day and a new opportunity to make this world a softer place.
Let's lead with compassion.
Yes. Thank you so much.
We appreciate you guys.
Yes.
Thank you for watching.